All right, I know why you guys clicked on this video. Stop doing stabilized approaches. I said what I said. Roll the intro.
Hello, my name is Stan. We're going to pre-flight this airplane and then we're going to take you up in the air. So sit back and fasten your seatbelt. That's about it. Come on, let's go flying. Okay, cut.
Maybe it's a troll post, okay? I know it seems like a troll post, but seriously, I've been thinking about this a little bit. I've done a bunch of maintenance related videos and I'm tired of maintenance. We're all tired of maintenance. Let's do some flying. So what are we gonna talk about today? Flying wise, stabilized approaches. Okay, I have a bone to pick with stabilized approaches and I'll tell you why. When I was learning to fly, I know that we start out from level 0, so obviously, you're not going to be good at flying when you're starting out. It's one of the more difficult things you can do in life. It's not the hardest thing, but it's difficult. And I had a terrible time learning to do my approach to land. I know that's common. Everybody can fly in straight lines, everybody can do turns. It's difficult to land. Taking off and landing can be more challenging, but I was taught, I've had multiple instructors, so I'm not calling out anybody, but when I was learning to fly, I did the by the numbers flying. Now I am numbers illiterate. I can barely read English, let alone understand numbers. And so they were teaching me, be on this speed on your downwind at this altitude. And then once your wing is at this point past the numbers, do your base turn and put in so many flaps. And then you need to be on this speed. You need to do this. And then at this level, whenever your wings are being here, then you do your base to final turn. And then you need to be on this speed and you need to be on this glide path. And I was more concerned about what numbers am I supposed to get? What is my airspeed at? What are my flaps at? Is my position right? I was more concerned about that than the fact that I needed to put my butt onto the ground. And the airplane is part of that because my butt is sitting in the seat of the airplane. I flew with Dad because we got his Bonanza, old Bonnie, 4640 Sierra, up and running again after it sat for a long time. We started flying. But Dad, to his credit, taught me kind of a different way. His approach was fly the airplane to your landing area. Here's my aim point, so it should be the start of the runway. I don't know why you would displace it, but start of the runway. Aim point, airspeed is what my instructor taught me, and Dad just essentially said, go land there and fly the airplane to the ground. So Dad loved to use slips, power, everything at your disposal. Slips are kind of a weird gray area where is slipping a good thing, is slipping a bad thing? Is slipping a stable approach? You know, I looked it up because I'm not worried about stable approaches. I looked up stable approach. A steady airspeed, it is lined up with the runway center line, and it is on a stable glide slope. So 3 degrees, whatever, you're descending at a constant rate towards your touchdown point. Those 3 items, okay. Does a slip count as a stable approach? Are you at a constant airspeed? No, you're actually you might be gaining a little bit of speed while you sink really quickly, or you may be slowing down actually by creating that drag. You can do a variety of things. The slips are a fantastic tool on your approaches. I like to do short approaches with these Bonanzas. You're gonna see that today. So does a slip count as a stabilized approach? I think a slip is a fantastic. You look at these little J3 Cub, they don't have flaps on that thing, so he has to slip. So is a slip a stabilized approach? Discuss among yourselves. Today we're gonna go fly. I'm gonna show you guys that a stable approach does not matter. Now, take it with a grain of salt because I have hit a tree on landing. It was a stable approach until I hit the tree. So, you know, I do a lot of short field stuff. It is higher risk. I understand that your risk profile goes up, and some people say, well, the people who fly unstable approaches are doing more risky flying, and by nature, that makes it more dangerous and the approach more unstable. Whatever. Point is, I want to rile you guys up and show you that stabilized approaches don't matter. And once I stopped worrying about stabilized approaches and started worrying about putting my wheels on the runway where I wanted to where I want them to be, regardless of the circumstances or the winds or the emergency or whatever, I became a better pilot. So is an emergency landing a stabilized approach? Is your door popping open a stabilized approach? Is a bird strike a stable approach? I think not. So maybe we should stop worrying about stabilized approaches, because are we flying in a scientific lab, or are we flying in the real world where there's wind and there's birds and there's doors popping open, there's mechanical failures, there's engine failures, all of those things. So food for thought, discuss among yourselves, go in the comments and rage at me about how terrible I am and how I'm teaching people the wrong way, whatever. This is for entertainment only. This isn't for instruction. So if you listen to me, that's your own fault. All right, let's go fly. Okay, do I have any more thoughts about the stabilized approach? It's gonna be such a disaster. I know, you know, whatever. Controversy is good, right? Controversy is good. The reality is I want to stir people up a little bit, because people need to think about ideas that they don't like. But one of the more difficult things, I believe, is contending with ideas or contending with your own preconceptions that you think you know what you're talking about and you don't. The Ben Rant that's going to come at the end of this video involves talking about things you don't know about. So it's really hypocritical of me to even talk about that, because do I know what I'm talking about when it comes to stabilized approaches? All I know is the kind of flying I've done, the flying I do in these Bonanzas. I'm not an instructor. I am working towards getting my CFI here soon, but for now, I am just a podunk private pilot, no instrument, no nothing, no ratings. I don't have thousands and thousands of hours, but I can fly a dang Bonanza. I can land it within 50 feet of where I want to put my wheels down at. When I really try, closer than that if I really try, within 10 feet probably if I'm really putting in efforts. So I'm sure there's like some STOL guys out there that could put me to shame. I know they would put me to shame, probably any airplane, in a Cessna 150, whatever, not even, you know, STOL airplanes. So just understanding like the idea of staying in your lane, and which I'm not doing right. I'm not staying in my lane. That's a part of the troll aspect of it. I understand the irony, all right? It's not lost on me that I'm going to get on and do a whole rant about people people commenting about and like acting like they have authority on things they don't understand. I understand the irony there, because there's so much of it. I'm such a new pilot that there's so much I don't understand. But you guys got to stop it, all right? And I'm going to go show you guys what I can do. I'm going to do unstable approaches. I'm going to do all three of the criteria. Steady airspeed. I'll vary my airspeed. Steady sink rate. I'll do the craziest, wildest sink rate, increase, decrease, whatever, on runway centerline. I'm going to come in displaced. I'll do a banking turn that you're never supposed to do. I'll do all that, all right? I'm going to do as unstable as you can possibly do, and I'm still going to land better than most of you do at your 8,000-foot runways in a clear, beautiful day, whatever. Just to prove to you guys that, is it a skill issue? Is it a hazardous attitude issue? Is it, you know, what's the problem, guys? You tell me, all right? I want to have 1 million comments under this video with all the experts, because here's your chance, all right? All you guys who know better than me, know how to fly better than me, know that what I'm doing is wrong, you guys can go weekend warrior in the comments section and tell me why I'm wrong. Okay, that's enough of that. Airplane's warmed up, let's go. Give her the beat. Don't hit the cows. All right, even my takeoff's unstable. All right, we're doing nothing but unstable here. Okay, so constant speed. Oh, we're gonna change speed. We're not on center line. What are we doing? Oh my goodness. It's an unstable approach. What am I, oh, watch out for the, we gotta slip a little bit. I don't know what my speed is doing. Oh, I gotta bleed a lot of speed. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh no. What? It's not stable. Still touch down easily. Easy peasy. That was not stable.
That's a little bit of a float.
Oh yeah, my speed was garbage. You can't have stable airspeed, otherwise it'd be a stable approach, so I had to be unstable, but I was fast. I can do better. My wife is critiquing my landings. It's okay. I can do better. Okay, so I think that met the criteria for an unstable approach. We're gonna do it again. I'm gonna do like 3 unstable approaches, and we'll see if I can be as unstable as possible and still land safely. That was one. I think I was meeting pretty much all of the criteria there. I was not on center line. I was not descending at a constant rate. I think the camera will bear witness to that fact. And speed was all over the place, which is why I kind of floated a little bit there. And I didn't have my flaps in full. Okay, let's try it again. I like to displace to the left. I'll admit that I don't know about a right turning landing would be real weird. I'm very comfortable on this left side. I am not as comfortable on the right. Okay, speed is 80. Nice. You know, you can dive a little bit. You can pull up.
I'm closer to the north end now.
Okay, I see you. Okay, increase speed, decrease speed, slip. Oh, slips are so scary. Oh, the buffet, it scared me. Oh, is that a stall buffet or is it because I'm disrupting the airflow over the tail? It's because I'm disrupting the airflow over the tail. And I'm fast again. So I will say, no matter how unstable, if you are fast, which I need to be fast because I'm gonna do a banking, turning, landing thing. So it does have to be a little bit, but I'm so unstable. Oh, I'm so unstable. Oh, and I floated again. Got it. Oh, so much float. Okay, this next one is not going to be so fast. I'm going to do it. I will slow down. Okay, what aspects of a stable approach matter? It seems to me speed is a really big deal. You can fix a lot of things like strange angles, attitudes, whatever, but it's hard to fix speed. And these are relatively draggy airplanes. You know, there are other airplanes like a Mooney. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine trying to slow down a Mooney. Some of these airplanes are so slippery. There's other ones that are even more so. So, you know, with a Bonanza, I have the 30 degrees of flaps. So I have brick mode versus the straight in the A35 that only have 20. Anywho, those are some thoughts about stable approach. Jeez, I just asked the video. I'll admit, you know, it is a riskier form of flying. There's no doubt about that. Gotta be careful showing off for your wife, stuff like that, you know, whatever. All right, gauges are good. Don't worry about the low oil pressure. That's just an E-Series engine, just E-Series engine things. All right, let's do it.
Do you think you can take off in this distance?
It would be a stretch. I can get close to it. About 20 feet back, I can. I mean, I can lift off whenever, but not super close. The farther away you are, you can hold it down.
How about here?
Maybe. Are you want me to do like a fly over you thing?
No, I just seeing how short you can take off.
Okay, well, it's a little bit mushy, so I don't have the best performance. We'll see what I can do. All right, here we go. Don't hit the wife. Don't hit the wife. Don't hit the wife. Right rudder. Don't hit my wife. Oh my goodness. Ah. Make it airborne. Ah.
Technically off the ground before me.
I kind of ripped that one a little bit, but I did it. Okay, that was 2. Let's do a good one. This time, let's not be so fast. Okay, still stay. What if it's only 2 out of 3?
Have you done your rant yet?
Rant is for the outro. I ranted a little bit. I'm more humbled than anything because I scared myself a little bit on that first takeoff.
Probably good for your attitude.
Wasn't good for my health.
I'm just glad that nothing bad actually happened.
But yeah, there was a short about 3 seconds where I was wondering. All right, this one, maybe it'll only be 2 out of 3. I might have to keep my airspeed a little more constant. So I'll have 1 out of 3 for stability. Otherwise, I'm going to do the same approach. I'm going to do a real sideways turning approach kind of a thing. Unload that nose when you turn. Unload that nose. Don't stall the airplane. Okay. Oh, my approach is stable. Let's get on speed. We're not on center line at all, but we are on speed. Gears down. Light aero. Make sure prop. I haven't touched the gear this entire flight or the prop. There's a bird. But this time we're going to come in just a little bit.
We're still not on centerline, guys. Not on centerline. We are descending not at the 500 feet that they recommend, so this would not be considered a stable approach. Oh, and it's just getting muddy. I just slide. I got no braking authority. Otherwise, I get stuck. So not the best stole stuff, but whatever. I made my point. All right, I think I'm good with that. I've got plenty of good footage. So thank you. Appreciate it. Love you.
You're welcome. Love you too.
Aww. Live loves me. Okay, so what have we learned? Are stabilized approaches a big deal? Are they not a big deal? I'll leave that for you to decide. I think that proficiency matters more than stability. Let's just say that way. I can do an unstabilized approach in this airplane because I put these airplanes on like a pair of pants. And there's people who probably can fly circles around me in these airplanes. So I'm young. I still have many years of flying, hopefully left, Lord willing. So I'll get better at it, but because I am very comfortable with the airplane, I'm able to know what it feels like, know when things don't feel right, and I think that helps. So maybe the lesson here, and I'll let you guys, again, it's just for fun. I don't want this to come across, and I know I did come across, for instance, in the rant that we'll talk about, I know I came across as a bit of a tool, because I am, spoiler alert is what I am. There's always a border with satire and fun where is it well-meaning or is it just punching down? And I do understand, I don't want to get into the rant ahead of time that I'm going to talk about, but I understand that it kind of seemed like punching down a little bit. So I don't want to do that. So I hope with this video too, I hope that I just want to challenge some ideas, and I am happy to be challenged as well. So you can go in there and say, Ben, you're an idiot, you're stupid. What a terrible part. You should take this off the internet. And you know what I'm going to respond to that? Some snarky response to that, okay? Because that's not useful. If you want to comment something useful like, hey, that was a fun video, whatever, or maybe it wasn't, whatever. I didn't like the video. I understand where you're coming from. Here's my critiques, X, Y, and Z. I will absolutely think about those and consider, and you may change my mind. So I may come across as a tool and confrontational, whatever. The reality is if somebody offers valid points, I am going to consider those points. That's something I've learned in my post-high school education, is to consider my ideas, my preconceived ideas, and other people's point of view, and evaluate them, and realize that I don't know everything. I may not know much of anything, and other people may not know much of anything either. So that doesn't mean you just accept everything everybody else says. Have a level of skepticism for your own ideas, and have that same level of skepticism for other people's ideas. What you don't want to have is a higher level of skepticism for other people's ideas than you have for your own. So I'm going to be real critical whenever you guys say a bunch of stuff that is stupid, but I also am going to be real critical of myself when I say a bunch of stuff that is stupid. And I am sure I said plenty of stupid things, and I'm sure you guys will be able to point that out to me. So anyways, there you have it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was useful. I think that it's just supposed to be a conversation starter, guys. For one, it's supposed to be fun. I hope it was entertaining. Maybe it wasn't entertaining. If it wasn't entertaining, then I failed right off the bat. My secondary goal after entertainment was maybe be a conversation starter. So we'll see. Comment your thoughts. A lot of you guys are instructors, or you have many, many hours, whatever. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Again, is the internet though, so somebody who has no experience at all can talk. Someone like me can go make a whole video on this topic. So understand the limitations of the internet. But yeah, talk amongst yourselves. And anyways, thanks for watching. And if you stayed this long, you get my Ben rant, and that's coming right after this. Peace out, guys. See you on the next one. Like and subscribe if you want more nonsense. See you guys. Okay, so what is my Ben rant about today? I posted, this had to have been about a week ago. I made a post on I'm recording my rant. Okay. My wife is very helpful. I love when Holly helps. She's not gonna know I'm talking about her right now, but I love when she helps me film. Get yourself a supportive
spouse, whether it's here's a rant, here's a rant for you guys, a positive rant. Find yourself someone in your life who supports you, and is rooting for you and is on your team, whether you're man or woman. Find yourself a spouse. Friends, it can be that too. So not everybody, people have different paths in life. So I'm not saying that everyone wants to get married, everyone wants to have kids, everyone wants to do whatever. So, but there are people out there, and be that person to other people as well. I think that's an important thing. But my wife is so incredibly supportive. All of the struggles and difficulties of life. I have lived an extremely privileged life. I'm sitting in my own airplane that I own myself, making YouTube videos to an audience that has no business caring about me at all. I cannot believe that you guys are entertained by this at all. Maybe most of the time you're not. Maybe you're just waiting for the crash. But I digress so much. Another Ben Gresham. I know it's a Ben Gresham. Again, find yourself someone who cares about you, and it doesn't mean that they're gonna always be, how do I say this? They're not always going to be like congratulating you. Support does not mean congratulations, you're doing great. No, sometimes it's get your head out of your hiney and do better, be better. Find someone who will push you and support you in being the best version of yourself as possible, and trying to, whatever that means to you. Not everybody is religious, but I hope everyone is moral, that you don't have to be religious to have a moral code. And find someone who pushes you to be the most moral version of yourself, and fits in a religious framework for me and with my beliefs, but that is living and trying to be a good example. And so I think this is a good pre-rant to my post-rant, because I don't want to come across, and I did in my Facebook post, as kind of a dirtbag. And it felt good. It felt dirty, and it felt good, because I was like, I've got them. I've got these guys. They look like idiots. And, it shouldn't. Life isn't about dunking on people, okay? And so the beginning of my rant is going to be an apology for being a tool. And then I'm going to go into, but again, I'm digressing so much. My wife is so supportive. She recorded footage for me. I love her so much. And it makes a better video whenever I have ground footage, and she didn't have to do that out there bundled up, freezing to death out there in the wind while I go do stupid airplane stuff. So again, find yourself someone who supports you like that, and you will have won no matter what you do in life if you have someone who is rooting for you. And I am fortunate to have so many people in my life that root for me and support me, and it allows me to try risky things that probably shouldn't work. But that's the pre-rant. Okay, the post-rant. You get 2 rants today, 2 for the price of 1. That was my positive rant. Negative rant is I posted on Facebook, airplanes and coffee. Okay, if you're not familiar with airplanes and coffee on Facebook, if you do, my audience is at an age where Facebook is probably their primary source of social media. I haven't quite cracked those youngins, the young age group that's on TikTok and Instagram and all of those things. So if you're old enough to care about Facebook or use Facebook, I highly recommend joining Airplanes and Coffee. I don't know why they're the primary go-to with airplanes, but it's like 600,000 members. It's either 300 or 600,000 members. I can't remember which. It's insane. Not all of them are pilots. There's the whole gamut from very experienced pilots on there to radio control to drone enthusiasts, just aviation enthusiasts who do flight sims. I mean, the whole gamut. People who've never even probably sat foot in an airplane that just think they're cool. It's fantastic. It is a place for everyone that is interested. Just like at AirVenture Oshkosh, where not everyone's a pilot, people might be interested or whatever. They may never set foot in an airplane. You don't have to fly airplanes to love aviation. Aviation is for everyone. In my opinion, there's something for everyone in aviation, I think. But anyways, airplanes and coffee. That is what I love about airplanes and coffee. What I hate about airplanes and coffee is that people who don't have a lot of experience, who are looking to learn, they will post on airplanes and coffee, hey, I need advice. I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. I want to get my CFI. I want to go do my commercial. I want to fly airlines. I want to get my ATP, whatever. I want to buy an airplane. This is my mission, blah, blah, blah. And it's the problem with the internet, and I understand it's this idea of like there's too much input, where you don't know, and there's like no credentialing, so you don't know who knows and who doesn't know what they're talking about. And so a lot of times I will see posts where it's like, hey, I'm looking for an airplane. I want to be able to go fast, but I'm kind of, I'm not super rich or wealthy, and so I need something less affordable, but I still want to be able to take my family on trips, whatever. And everyone's like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that.
And just recently, there was what triggered my little troll post was that somebody had posted about early Bonanzas because they were in their price range. The reality is these E-Series Bonanzas and even some of the later non-E-Series Bonanzas, so you're like 1957 through 60-ish range and stuff, they're still very affordable for their capability. And people had posted, somebody had posted about wanting to consider this or a Viking or whatever, some other airplanes. And I go read the comments, and there's a bunch of people saying, oh, don't get a Bonanza. They're Dr. Killers. You can't afford a Bonanza. The maintenance costs are 20 times what a normal fixed gear, blah, blah, blah. They're too, you don't have the capabilities. You're, a valid point is insurance. You're never going to be able to afford insurance. That's a valid concern. But what I realized very quickly was that everyone who was commenting and sounded the most confident, and the original poster was responding to these comments. So that's another thing. If they were just ignoring it, if it was just noise. But these were people that were being responded to by the original poster, so they were influencing the original poster with false information. It was so annoying, and I could go in there and I could respond to every single comment and like debunk it, because that is the beauty of the internet, is the ability everyone can leave comments as a public forum. But it just I responded to a couple and I moved on, and we should all do that probably in life. Is something that bothers us, just move on. But I got a streak of just rebelliousness in me. I don't know what it was, and I was like, I can't leave this alone. So later in the evening, I go and I make a post. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get these guys. I'm going to catch everyone with their pants down. And I make a post that it has since been deleted. So I wish I had screenshots, but I don't. If anybody of you have screenshots of it, anytime there's a controversial post, I need to get screenshots. But the gist of the post was, I am considering the leap into airplane ownership. I posted a picture of this airplane that I own, that I bought. And I said, I'm looking to leap into airplane ownership, and I need these capabilities, X, Y, Z. And the capabilities that I listed were essentially the exact specifications of the B-35 Bonanza. Takeoff and landing distances, stall speed, cruise speed, range, all those things. I don't know how much of that I actually included, but I essentially made a post. I was like, I'm considering these Bonanzas are super cheap. My budget is $35,000 to $65,000. And I want to be able to do XYZ things, and this is my mission. I was like, you guys know so much more than me. I'm just out here trying to learn, so I was a little deceptive. I'm sorry. I was so deceptive. So I'm just out here to learn. And I posted it. And, it was like flies to honey. They just could not resist. So first off, what was funny is a few people know me that are on Airplanes and Coffee. They're from Bonanza pages and stuff, because, again, everyone's on Airplanes and Coffee. It's awesome. But they were like, is this a joke? They're like, is this Ben Weeks? You are the E-Series Bonanza guy. Lou Gage is the E-Series Bonanza guy. Woo. But so that was some people, but very few. So like maybe 10% of people that were commenting knew who I was. And then the other 90% had no idea. And the comments were hilarious. That airplane you need to increase your budget by such and such amount. There's no way it can do that mission, whatever. And so I just told, I said, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to learn. I thought that, it sounded from what I had read that Bonanzas could do, that had these capabilities. Like, I thought that's what they were for. No, Bonanzas, you're too complex. You shouldn't even be considered. What is your experience level? You can't handle a Bonanza, blah, blah. And the comments that was where all of them were at. In fact, the reason the post got deleted is because the moderators on Airplanes and Coffee were commenting that garbage and slop. They had no idea what they were talking about. And then it quickly, people started to realize as they were reading other comments that there was like 300 comments, I think, when it got shut down. They started to realize that they were talking to someone who knew more about Bonanzas than they were, and then they looked like an idiot. And so you know what they did? They deleted the post. They dirty deleted the post. So what is my rant? It was more of a story time than it was a rant. But my rant is stop talking about stuff you don't understand, okay? Here, I'm going to look like probably a complete idiot because I talked a bunch about stabilized approaches, and people are going to have all kinds of things to say. And again, I do quickly want to reiterate that I want to be sensitive to people who have lost. I understand that accidents happen. A lot of accidents happen in landing. Maybe some of them were unstable approaches. I don't want to be insensitive to people who have lost loved ones in aviation. It's tragic. But just because it's dangerous and people die in aviation does not mean we shouldn't have fun with aviation. Okay, if it's not fun, why are we doing it? We don't all want to be just bus drivers up there in the airlines driving 600-mile-an-hour buses. Anyway, so that was my aside there. But again, stop talking about stuff you don't understand, okay? most of us will live and die, and we might be an expert in one thing. Right now, 27 years old, I'm not even an expert in one thing. I won't know that I'll ever be an expert in anything. In fact, most of the experts end up being more humble than people who don't know anything. It's that Dunning-Kruger effect that comes up all the time that actually irritates me as well. But again, stop commenting. I'm not saying don't comment, but comment about the things you know and stop leading people astray. It'd be one thing if it was just shooting the breeze, but people literally listen. I don't know why they listen to people on social media. They shouldn't listen. Social media is such a dumpster fire of information most of the time, but if it was just people commenting that knew what they were talking about, this wouldn't even be an issue. But for some reason, they can't help themselves, I guess. So that's it. That's the rant. Whatever. I did come across as a tool, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I had been. That's the other problem with social media and comments. They're short, they're quick, and they're not very nuanced. So I want to understand where I'm coming from. It's not just trying to dunk on people that admittedly were making stupid comments. It was that I'm representing the people who don't know better, that are trying to learn, and they don't know who knows what they're talking about and who doesn't. So stop. I don't comment on Pipers and Cessnas and what they can do in their performance and their value because I'm not in that world. I can comment on E-Series Bonanzas because I follow the market. I fly a ton of them. I'm not the end all be all, but at least my opinion should matter a little bit, I think. So, and again, like, whatever, or don't listen to me either. Like, do your own thing. But if you're looking for advice, I don't know how you sift through and find out who knows what they're talking about and who doesn't. It's a hard thing. But again, if we would all just stop commenting about things we don't know about and don't understand, I think that the world would be a better place. It's such a disaster of a rant. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments. Discuss among yourselves. But anyways, again, I don't know why you guys bother with this. You guys have such better things to do with your time than hear me rant. But it is what it is. I'm committing to the bit. So thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.